Welcome to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's your co-host, Mr. Brown Broken Guapo, 10 toes down, big head up, and we do not promote getting caught up. If you know what I mean, stay clean.
Ooh.
Bars.
Ooh. Okay, cool. It's your boy Spence, King Aquarius, Mr. 20% Wealth Strategist, coming at you on this fine Tuesday evening.
Tuesday, yeah.
The Creative Campus, powered by Court Vision, which has been our home for the last month.
About a month. We got some real niggas behind us now.
You know what I'm saying? Exclusivity.
Some supportive niggas.
If you want to, it's
cool niggas.
It's the support for me. So yeah, if you want to,
don't break shit, niggas.
Then blame it on you. Yeah. So if y'all want to check it out, holla at us. It's a great spot. Dope people. Great networking opportunity. I mean, we were just talking a little while ago about it, but shit, how you doing?
Bro, I'm tired. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm running on like fumes right now. But to be great, you got to do shit that you don't want to do. And I'm not saying I don't want to be here, but what I'm saying is I'd rather be on the beach with my toes in the sand and the drink and an umbrella in it. But you know what? We gonna be all right.
Do you keep the umbrella in your drink? I always feel like it gets in the way.
It gets in the way, so I take a picture and then I get rid of it. You know, me, I try to be a bad bitch for all of 2 seconds, then I start spilling shit, and I'm clumsy, so I just look stupid. So
okay. Yeah, we were the same in that aspect, because I'm like, I don't know, I have this thing with drinking through straws unless I'm trying to like chug or like raise somebody. I don't really drink through a straw, so like the shit be in my way. Yeah. So, question of the day.
What the fuck was that? That's the question of the day.
My Stitch voice. You can't do a Stitch voice. Whose bands is this? All right, cool. So, question of the day is: can you be an effective leader without showing affection?
So the tough part about that question is effective, because effective and efficient can be synonyms, but also can be antonyms. Or rivals, I should say.
So let's just use effective.
Right. No, I know, but I'm just saying, when I hear effective, I automatically think efficient. And first answer is no. Because when you're a leader, I'm assuming you're leading multiple people. 3+ people. 3, 6, right? 9. My bad. I wish I didn't do that.
Fumes.
But to that point, it's like, say even you have 3 people, right? What if one of those people need affection? What if they need love and attention? You know what I mean? To get the most out of that person is going to be like you showing them some love. You know what I mean? And I think, say you're not a loving person, that person is going to teach you a new tool, right? And you're going to be a better leader because of them.
I like that. Especially if we're talking about a leader, because at the end of the day, your leading style is only as effective as your people willing to follow you.
Right.
And just the fact of the matter, most people operate from their right side of the brain, which is the emotions and the affection.
Moses had to be a good leader.
Why?
Because he was able to get 2 sets of all the animals to follow. So he had to
Moses or Noah?
No.
I was like, bro, Moses was a great leader.
Yeah. But Noah, that's wild. Told y'all I'm on fumes today. It sounded good in my head, and I thought about it twice before saying. I was like, I'm gonna kill him with this shit. Fire.
We get biblical.
God on your ass.
It's funny though, because the fact that you're referencing Noah, was he a good leader, or was he just a good thief? Like, was he just like a good, like,
stealing the animal
con artist? How else you get him on a big ass boat?
Being a good leader.
So you think he went to each and every animal and was just like nice about it?
Do you think that
no,
Noah is where they got the story, not the Nutty Professor, Dr. Dolittle from? You think Dr. Dolittle was a modern day Noah's Ark?
I think Eddie Murphy could speak to animals.
In real life?
Yeah.
All right, shut the fuck up. Let's go back. So you were saying being a good leader.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I definitely think that you do have to have some affection, emotional intelligence, empathy in order to be an effective leader. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you don't always get to choose your team, but you need to figure out how to appeal to their personalities,
right,
and the way that they learn. So yeah, I mean, it'd be tough not to. I feel like you'd have to be. I've never been in the military, but I feel like even drill sergeants and like people who are up in command still show some like affection to their people, even though like perception on the outside looking in is like just a bunch of assholes yelling at you.
Yeah, you got to know when to like turn it on and off. Now that I'm moving into the realm of like coaching and just professionalism, is finding a way to authentically be yourself in different ways. How to present yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody isn't. I tried to do two. My arms ain't long, but you know, like
move it closer.
Not everybody's gonna fully like you. You know what I mean? But on that same note, if you find a way to present yourself in a way that is appealing to them, then they just might. You know?
Yeah, I was just explaining to someone how sales isn't really as hard as people make it out to be. I think the hardest part of sales is getting turned down, is the denial, is people saying no to you, and still bouncing back and doing it. Because literally, sales and leadership, it's really just presenting, like, here's the common goal. This is what we're trying to accomplish. Or, hey, this is what I have. I don't know if you've ever seen anything like this before, but there's a large community that has discovered this, and they found that it helps them do X, Y, and Z and enhance their life in a certain way. It's really just presenting a solution and deciding, giving people the autonomy to decide, yeah, I like this, or no, I don't like this. And it kind of just is what it is. But leadership, you have to be a great salesperson.
So I think based off what you said, denial and rejection, I think, are some of the best lessons anyone could ever learn. And the reason I say that is because I'm just thinking in a bar setting, right? Bars. Or trying to bag somebody, right? The worst thing anybody could say is no.
I don't like that quote, because there's a lot there's some foul shit that people can say outside of no.
Like,
no, you dusty ass, like, and then just like proceed to flame you.
Right, but if you're confident in yourself, you already said no. Everything else that comes after that, I don't care.
How many people have you met in your life that are irrefutably confident and don't show insecurities?
I mean, I personally, bro, I could be in a bar.
No, not you. How many people in your life?
Not many, but that's what I'm saying. Work on yourself.
Yeah,
but hold on. That's to my point, right? If you're getting shot down, if you're getting turned down, right?
Hold that.
One, like, not that you're getting used to it, but you're learning, like, all right, this didn't work, or maybe this approach, or maybe you're getting that tough skin to be like, all right, bro, there's 20 girls in here, one of them gonna fuck with me. You get what I'm saying? Like,
the 20th one who just watched you hit on 19 other girls.
But she probably got a low self-esteem too. Fuck it, match made in heaven. Nigga, we made it.
How did we get here?
This is crazy. But it makes me kind of think about today's topic of real life versus fake reality, right? And it's the idea of, let's talk about bars.
Real like bars, like alcohol.
Yeah, like, okay. You know, sitting in a bar, the facade that people carry while they're inside bars. You know what I mean? I got my shit together. I got all this money, bro. I will never forget. I was at Matty D's one day. This was pre-COVID, right? And there was this nigga standing on the stage because you remember you used to be able to dance and
hit your little two-step,
right?
yeah.
And this nigga was making it rain, bro, making it rain. I was sitting there like this,
catching them. Okay,
catching them,
drizzling,
throwing them in my pocket, bro. I'm like, oh, this nigga's throwing 20s, right?
Monopoly money,
bro. I got in the car; they were fake 20s.
Hold that,
fake 20s.
Hold.
So it's like you did all that for what?
To make niggas like you get excited.
Like, but nah, I wasn't like I was discreet with it, you know. I just held my hand out like T-Rex arms. It was like,
it's like, Lord, whatever's for me is gonna come to me.
Yeah, nothing was for me that night. But you feel me? Like, why do you feel the need to go out in public and be a person that you're not?
So is it that they're not that person, or like maybe they're just trying to work up to being that person? Maybe they aspire.
You telling me they're trying to manifest it?
Yeah. So, all right, peep game. We're in
Please do.
We're in Connecticut. We're in Hartford, Connecticut.
Murder capital.
where they murder for capital. So where other than Mink's Cabaret are you going to get the King of Diamonds, like the King of Diamonds aesthetic that you're probably hoping for there? Because honestly, if you a person who is in a bar throwing out money, whether it's real or fake, that's a specific type of demographic, like very specific type of demographic. So yeah, maybe maybe it was a joke. Maybe that was what he aspires to be.
Hey, look at this broke nigga. Look at these broke niggas. Look at them. Look at them go crazy.
Did you see him leave with anybody?
I don't remember, bro. This was like 5 years ago. So I truthfully, but it was like a group of folk too. I don't care, bro. You my guy, but if I see you and you throwing 20s in the bar, and it wasn't even a club, a bar,
yeah,
and I see they're fake, bro, I'm ragging the shit out of you. Like, I'm not letting you hear the end of it. I am going in to you like, all right, nigga, I heard enough.
But why?
Bro, you're throwing fake money. If you couldn't
you'd feel better if I was throwing real money?
Yes.
I would see, this is where we go wrong. If you saw me at Matty D's throwing real 20s and you did like brush me.
So that's the first issue. You felt compelled to throw money there. But if we were like in a bar, right? Because clearly if you're throwing money, you have enough, right? You're living a real perception, right? But I'm assuming you have enough of it. You don't have to put on a facade. Shout out my boy B-Day out in Buffalo. He taught me to wear facade my sophomore year at college, and I've been using it ever since. But yeah. But I say all that to say, right? Like you said, it's a perception, and perception reality?
Yeah. I firmly
break down that quote, because if perception is reality, I'm perceiving that you have money to throw, when in reality you are so broke that you have to throw fake money, and then in return you had to spend real money to buy said fake money to make it look like you had real money.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if you've seen, and this is kind of sidebar, but like I have definitely seen promo like not promo coupons, but promo like flyers that look like money. But okay, so perception being reality, meaning whatever is shown to you is your reality. Like regardless what you think may be happening behind the scenes, what's actually happening behind the scenes, you can really only go off what you see in front of you. So that perception, that perspective is a reality. Now, is it factually 100% always reality? Not necessarily, but that's also where people put their armor on. So, like, maybe that was his. I mean, maybe he's just a fucking clown, like a jokester. He got a kick out of it.
Shit Drew would do.
Exactly.
Like, low key.
Exactly. And then get mad when other people pick it up. Like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, so, I don't know.
So let's change gears a bit, right? People, I mean, they say, yo, stop talking about relationships and couples. We gonna talk about relationships today.
90 days till you see the real them.
Whoa there. So you look at, I'm thinking social media, I'm thinking movies, thinking TV. You see a lot of people that's like, oh, those relationships are goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could you? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, are relationships that we see really goals? Like,
I need a specific one to like.
The first one that comes to mind is what's old boy that plays Deadpool? Oh, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Like, people look at them and they're like, wow, that is an amazing relationship. Like, yada 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 yada. You gotta Google them.
Blake Lively. It's a man or a woman?
Woman. Blake Lively.
You said Google him, so I was like, I don't know.
No, I didn't know. Another Jay and
Oh,
Beyonce. People look at them and they're like, yo, their relationship goes.
Jay-Z and Beyonce?
No, I'm talking about Ryan Reynolds but I was maybe bringing up someone that was more relatable.
She played in what was that movie on weed based out of California where she's dating the two guys?
Oh, and
Savages.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of I like that movie. Okay, I don't ever see anyone's relationship like I want that. So I don't know. Like Jay-Z, Beyonce, for obvious reasons, like, yeah, I want that. But anything outside of that, because again, I don't be believing that shit. Like, people, I've known men and women who would post their partners all the time as if they were in love, and it was nothing but turmoil behind the scenes. And the only reason why they were posting each other because each other was yelling at each other like, why don't people know about me? Like so I don't believe any of that. But I mean, you know, if it's love and it's authentic, do your thing. But
I was on the internets the other day, and there was this dude that was like, me and my wife, we never joke about divorce. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, you know, some people be like, oh, if he did this, I would divorce him, or they came home and that, like, you joke about breaking up. And he was like,
oh yeah, white dude.
Yeah. And he was like, that. You know, we don't even joke about that because we don't want to bring that energy into our relationship. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, the reality is things are not perfect and we need to accept that, but we can enjoy what's right here because we don't want it to get away.
Everyone just has to go to their own extremes to make shit work. But like, I don't know, it's a little jokey joke. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
what?
I said, like, it's just a joke. Like, you can't.
Why
joke.
Are you taking that shit so serious?
You can, like that. To me, that makes it feel like you're walking on eggshells in your relationship.
Like, I should be able to say whatever I want to say.
Yeah, like, if you know I'm not going anywhere, like, I should be able to joke about leaving because it's not like, because it's so ridiculous to even think of. But you know, people be fragile. People also, because they watch these movies, these TV shows, they go on social media, they just have this ridiculous perspective on like what they think relationships should be. Whereas, 66% of marriages don't last. So, and chances are that with that statistic, you probably grew up in a house where you either didn't have your mom around, or you didn't have dad, or they divorced. So because you don't know, statistically speaking, what a healthy, like, lasting, loving relationship looks like, you then look for all these other ridiculous ones online or like in movies to like, oh, I want to have that one day. It's like it's like the whole fucking 50 Shades of Grey thing that happened. Like, you've never, like, in high school, like, you don't remember, like, everyone was freaking out about 50 Shades of Grey between the book and the movies.
I mean, I didn't read or see either, so.
You never watched the movies? What? Why not?
Why would I?
I don't know. You've seen The Notebook.
I did get Notebook twice.
I've never seen The Notebook, but I've seen all the 50 Shades of Grey movies.
I've gotten Notebooked.
You've gotten Notebooked?
That's the thing. Like, when a girl makes you watch The Notebook, like, it's a thing. It's
people are nodding their heads to this. That's a thing?
Yeah, like, I've been Notebooked. Yes, that is a thing.
That's disgusting.
like no. I don't know. I don't want to come off and say this wrong. Most men will not voluntarily sit down and watch The Notebook. So
what's it about?
It's the love story of a man and woman. The woman has Alzheimer's.
Like 51st
Nigga,
Dates.
that's funny.
I thought of 51st.
She had brain damage.
No,
The chicken 51st Dates. She had gotten in a car accident and bopped her head, and she would forget every day.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this lady, like, they just grew old, and it's telling the story of how they fell in love, and then
she has to journal every day to remember everything.
yeah, and then it's like the movie's like two old people, and like you don't really find out till later on that he's telling her the story of how they fell in love through her.
Oh, it's like the Titanic.
Sure, I've seen Titanic, but
like the Titanic was told by that old woman at the end.
oh, facts. Yeah. So let me ask you a question: do movies and TV show give a false reality of what relationships should be?
If that's what you want to believe in, yeah, I guess it could if you forget that this is all fictional. Actually, yeah. So because I know a lot of people, particularly women, who like to watch quote unquote reality TV. So it's like Married at First Sight. I forget what they're called. All these ridiculous like dating shows where, you know, you meet this person out of nowhere and you have 30 days or however many days to fall in love and get married and then see how many success stories there are. Mm-hmm. So I can see how people would gravitate towards that. I think it's like
the idea of hopeless romantics. You know what I mean?
Can you define that? What is a hopeless romantic?
Sounds
delusional.
Excuse me. A hopeless romantic is they have high expectations and a desire of something, but they don't think they're ever going to get it. So they're hopeless. Like, oh my God, I want to be loved. I want to be this, but I'm never going to get it. That is a hopeless romantic.
That's depressing. I'm hopeless because I'm never going to find what I'm looking for. That's like,
oh, I have all these pretty things I want, a unicorn, a dragon, lions and tigers and bears. And yeah, but it's just never going to happen because fill in the blank. I don't know. But I do feel like we compare ourselves a lot and create our own fake realities. You get what I'm saying? We see jobs, we see music, like, damn, why I ain't get that yet? Damn, why I'm not there? Oh, that should be me. And we're creating this false reality. Why should that be you?
So that's very interesting because there is a couple ways you can look at that. There is that kid or adult or just person who sees these things and they're just like, I want that. And then they dedicate their life to getting that because maybe that's their passion and what they want to do. But there's also the other side of the coin of people who look at that and like, I wish I had that. And when it's that do or die moment, whether like, am I going to make an action towards doing it or not, then typically not happens. And then they go down this spiral of like, nothing works for me. I'm never going to find this. I'm never going to find that. I'm just a hopeless romantic looking for love in a generation of fuckboy culture.
But it's not even just like in regards to relationships, because like jobs. Oh, I went to college. I did all these internships, yada, yada, yada. This was my dream job. How do you know it's your dream job if you've never actually done it?
Isn't that what college is supposed to be for? Like you study it?
College is a scam. 100%. It's like, bro, I tell people to go to college, not because of what you will learn in the classroom, but who you will become and what you will learn outside the classroom. That is my reason for telling people to go to college.
So, but the actual like reason, like systemically why people are supposed to go to college is to further educate themselves in a specific field so that when they get out of college, they can then pursue that career path, right?
Yes.
So I think this is where this is really just where opportunity comes as a kid. So it depends on what you're exposed to. Like if you're exposed to, marketing careers, tech careers, music industry, finance industry, professional sports. Like there's no question why there's professional athletes and some of their kids become professional athletes after them. It's because you saw the roadmap, like you saw what it takes. And I don't know. I feel like in today's day and age, especially like our generation, we're just spoiled. We can look at our phone and pretty much research anything within 30 minutes and decide if it's something that we can see ourselves doing for the foreseeable future. So
let me ask you a question based off us talking about education, right? And college specifically. What is more important, education or experience?
What is more important, education or experience? I feel like my initial reaction is to say experience, but there is education that comes from said experience.
Right.
So are you just talking about education as in like schooling?
Let's leave it there.
Okay.
Schooling versus going into the field
versus experience. I mean, it really depends on the field, because I don't care how much experience you have, like working around physicians. If you ain't go to school for 10 years, like I don't want you working on it. So, I think there's power in both. I think there's the majority of people go to school, take general studies, change their major a few times, pay these organizations hundreds of thousands of dollars, and graduate just with a piece of paper that they don't end up using. Not to point fingers at anybody, that guy. And then there's people who are very intentional, very specific, who like, no, I'm going to school for this, and with this, I'm going to then build my dream that I've had since I was a kid.
So here's two things. One, to that second point that you made. So many people get to that and they say like, bro, this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't what I wanted. You created a false reality off of shit that you didn't even know. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, had you experience in this situation is twofold. One, you went through the experience of getting to where you wanted to be. So it offered a new form of gratitude, right? You learned, you grew, and on top of it, it was like, okay, I am now better for this. I can now do this because I got in the trenches and I did this, right? But then the second form of experience is also saying like, okay, I now know what I don't and do like. Or I know whereas I could sit here and take a marketing class and be like, oh, wow, I fucking love marketing, but I just love what's in this book. Or I could think marketing is the worst thing ever, but until you actually get out and apply it and experience it, it's never really going to matter. Because you could love it or hate it, you're never really going to know until you're doing it. And to your point about the physician, yes, something is major as a physician, right? But a lot of the times when you get a job in the real world,
you learn.
There's onboarding.
Yeah.
So they're teaching you what you need to know anyways. Shit that was never in those classes that you were in regardless. So the false reality that you created is, oh my God, this is my dream job. This is this is that. It's like, bro, you truthfully don't really know until you're in it.
That is true. I think more people need to take responsibility and do their due diligence. If they say they're passionate about something, like, you need to live, breathe, and eat that. Like, you need to also like look into what internships are available, like what places in the area that you can learn from, who's already doing it that you can pick their brain. Because a lot of people fall in love with the end result and they forget everything it takes to actually get there. So it's like, oh, you sold me a false narrative, or like, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be. Like, yeah, no shit. Like you it's your job literally to take the information you learn throughout your life and paint your own picture. Like, you may have done it one way, but your way probably won't work for me because we're two different people and we think differently. So as a collective, you can just ask a bunch of different people in that space, what worked for you? What did you do? There's going to be common denominators across the board. And I feel like I've talked about this before, but at the end of the day, you have to do your due diligence to educate yourself
Right.
So yeah, education is important. Are you going to get that in a classroom necessarily? Maybe not, but I think education towards whatever you want to do, whether it's experience or just, Googling, calling people, like, you just gotta.
I think a lot of the times we romanticize the idea of things without ever actually experiencing them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's what social media is. Like, let me take a picture in front of this Lamborghini that's parked on the street. That's not mine, but it looks like it's mine from this angle. Yeah, people love to romanticize that. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if there's action behind it. But if you romanticize something and then there's no action and then you get anxious and depressed, then I hate to say shame on you, but that's like my initial thought. Like, do something about it.
So what do you think about people displaying their successes, right? Displaying their successes and achievements. And I'm going to say achievements and successes are the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? So are they bragging or are they celebrating their wins?
I love this question because I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. I think it could be viewed as bragging. I think if you worked hard for it and you celebrate it, awesome. There's always going to be people who are going to feel some type about your success. They're going to look at you. They're going to make every excuse in the book for you and for themselves why they didn't achieve the same thing. When at the end of the day, what's meant for you will always be for you. So because, I have people in the same industry as me who absolutely like knock the cover off the ball. And I'm still as happy for them as if it was mine.
Is that because you're secure in yourself and you're accepting you are where you are and you're going to end up where you need to be?
Because I don't live my life based on someone else's dreams. Like, it's like, how many Michael Jordans are there? How many LeBrons are there? Like, how many Damian Lillard? Like, how many Steph Currys? Like, there's not a lot of people willing to put in the work and the effort to get to where they want to go. So, yeah, if you want to brag, if you want to talk some shit at the top, like, yeah, you earned that. You literally earned the right. It's the people that didn't earn the right who then do it, and then people talk shit about them, and then they start feeling sometimes like, yeah, well, but like Bow Wow posted like years ago that he had his own private jet. Do you not remember this? I feel like we don't look at the same social media.
Yeah, bro. Actually somebody made fun of me about this the other day, right? To go sidebar.
Yeah.
I said, bro, what do you think's on my timeline? They were like, bitches, sports, this, that.
I probably would have said the same.
Bro, the first thing if you go down my timeline, fish. Exotic fish. Bro, I can look at stingrays, sharks, and exotic fish all day. Like, something about being in the ocean is just like, whoa. Like, and I don't even like fishing.
So you get no pop culture in your shit?
We gonna get there, right? Exotic fish.
Yeah.
Sports. So workout routine, soccer, basketball, so on and so forth. Motivational stuff. No, I'm not. Third will be travel.
Okay.
Right? Travel. Fourth would be motivational stuff. And then fifth will be like a smidge of pop culture.
Interesting.
And like the most of the pop culture I get is probably like the Shade Room or stuff like that. Or like other podcasts that I follow that a celebrity went up there. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time it's because I like, and to kind of like tie this in, I don't give a fuck about what Bad Bunny's doing. I don't give a fuck about what Drake's doing. I do not care that when Beyonce posted her tickets, every female on my timeline was like, oh, I'm in line. Oh, I got to get, like, bro, I don't care. I really don't. So it's like, I live in the real world. Like, that shit does nothing for me.
That's fair. The people, the people have spoken, and you forgot a category.
Those are just random. Those just randomly pop up here and there.
Nah, I'm the same way. I generally don't care. Like the whole, I always say, is it Jonathan Majors or Michael Majors? What's his name? The guy
Jonathan Majors,
who played in Creed.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, how he just got into like some weird situation with his.
See, like shit like that, I would know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Not to interrupt.
Right.
That shit happened, I think, like Saturday morning, and I think it was either like Friday or Saturday in the afternoon was the first time that they posted his army commercial, and then pulled it later that day. Like, bro, you already aired the commercial. It's too late. Like, it's out there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
but
it's kind of like Sinbad and Shazam.
Didn't one of them not really exist?
No, it really did exist. He came out on a podcast. He's like, yeah, no, I really did. But he he paid people to give the movie back like within the first year.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
So you think that it is okay for people, as long as they worked hard and to accomplish their shit, to brag and be arrogant and cocky?
See, now you add so many adjectives.
I feel like with bragging comes arrogance.
With bragging comes arrogance and cockiness. I don't.
You're also talking to the dude that doesn't like telling people like my
What's
credentials.
Happening. But this is true. So I think there's different ways to look at it. Like, you're going to have haters regardless, but you're also going to have people who are going to look up to what you did and want to know why or how you did it. Mm-hmm. So are you bragging and gatekeeping? Or are you? How
do you mean by like gatekeeping? Like not relinquishing
the knowledge that you've acquired to get there, which would probably be like not writing a book or not doing podcasts and like interviews and shit like that. Or are you bragging and doing all these things and like, no, like, honestly, this is what it took to get here. And I think a lot of times when you talk to successful people, they have no problem telling you what it took to get there because they realize 90% of people aren't willing to do it. So it's like, yeah, I'll tell you all day, like, there's a top 5% for a reason. Like, only 5% of people are willing to put in whatever it takes to get what it needs. What needs to what needs to be done.
What's wrong with you?
Ashley.
How does imposter syndrome play into creating a false reality? First of all, do we need to define imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome, you shit for the people.
So imposter syndrome is, according to the Googles, the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally despite being a high performing and in external objective ways.
Yeah.
So basically feeling like a fraud, feeling phony, maybe putting on a facade. You don't feel as successful as you really are, for lack of better terms.
Yeah, so I think that comes in different ways, and I think people in like us, it's just a different scale of relativity. Whereas like I know people who are millionaires who don't believe that they should be, like they still,
you know, millionaires.
Yeah, plural.
You said that so casual. I know thousandaires. I ain't one of them.
Yeah, whereas like they don't believe that they've achieved the success that they have because a lot of times because they've just been really passionate about what they do. They're like, oh shit, like I woke up and I have this entire infrastructure and these multiple tools that have creating money for me to where like, yeah, I really don't have to do anything. But like, I also like know one of them who, again, he feels like he deserves it, but he doesn't like actually believe it's happening, who he like checks his bank account every day.
You know where I think that comes from? I feel that, and I'm not a millionaire, so I cannot speak for a millionaire, but coming from a person who has been very successful in their fields, I think it comes from a place of not being content. You know what I mean? I don't want to live in the false reality of the fact that like, oh, I've already accomplished everything I wanted to do and getting complacent. You know what I mean? Because as quick as you could make millions, I'm pretty sure you could lose millions. So I feel like it's one of those things that it's like, I don't want to sit here and say I did it. Because as soon as I say I did it, there's nothing else to be done. You know?
I think that's the best version of imposter syndrome. Like that's far better than the other, because you gotta think, these influencers on TikTok and on social media, a lot of them have some very specific traits. They're probably attractive in some like way or form. They're probably sponsored by some clothing brand, so they're like showing off the clothing brand or whatever brand that like is sponsoring them. And they're probably partially knowledgeable about a broad field, right? Like working out. Like, it doesn't take a lot to be a trainer. Unfortunately, right? Like, there's people who really go to school and get like their PhDs and doctorates in it. And then there's also people who can just read a book, pass a test, get a certificate, and now you're a personal trainer. Yeah, right. Or you can just Google and look up all these other people who post on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok.
Don't really know shit.
Just for content. Don't really know shit. But now you feel like you're educating yourself, whereas like this person could be fucking lying to you.
Right.
Like you could actually be hurting yourself because you didn't go through the right steps to, you know, actually figure out what's what and like what you're doing. So like that, I think that imposter syndrome, I think, is going to be coming to the forefront more often, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, with all of these quote unquote influencers who are just posting just for content, just for clickbait. And then it's just like, you're going to put them on a stage or you're going to interview them and you're going to find out, oh, you actually don't really know shit.
Yeah. So there's 2 points that I want to hit on. And I guess the first note about what you just said, right, about like people living through social media, right? So my principal hit on a very, very good point the other day. We were talking about how many kids have like mental illnesses because of social media now, right? And I was just telling her, like, I just don't understand it, right? Because we didn't grow up with social media. You know, I mean, we did, but we know a life without it. You know, before we hopped on the MySpaces, the Black Planets, the Facebooks, we had a normalcy without social media, right? Whereas this generation, think about it, they had a 3-year span where all they had was social media. Part of their norm is scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. And because they're so young and their brains haven't fully developed to differentiate the two, they think social media is reality. They think like, oh, what I see, I need to look this way. I need to have this job, this car, this thing. You get what I'm saying? And they start to compare themselves to a reality that's not even real, because there's filters, because this person paid $1 million for that body, because this person did bop, bop, bop. They're creating a reality to themselves that isn't even real to what they're looking at. But that false reality is part of their norm because they see it. You know, you're going to find more kids today with phones than without phones.
For sure. Or some type of like device or gadget.
Facts. But it was just interesting because it's like they don't even realize they're embedding themselves with imposter syndrome. You know?
Is interesting. Are they embedding themselves with imposter syndrome, or are they just witnessing it and not realizing?
Well, by witnessing it, I think it's becoming inherently part of them, because now they're seeing stuff and saying, I want that. I want that to be my life. You get what I'm saying?
Not realizing the person that you want to be is actually an imposter.
Right. Not realizing the person that you're comparing yourself to is probably miserable as fuck. Not realizing.
You think so?
Bro, I mean, granted, I don't know, but I would not sit here and say like a lot of the people on the social medias are as happy as they perceive.
Well, no, yeah, that wouldn't that wouldn't be fun to watch. Like, you know, this person's sad as fuck on the beach. What do you mean you're crying in Dubai? Like, that's not what they were there for.
And you watch celebrities and compare yourself, and I think comparison is very big when talking about creating a false reality, that you're losing your self-awareness.
Ooh, by comparing yourself to others, you're losing your own self-awareness. That is interesting. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, let me just make this note real quick.
Ash, we
Ash,
appreciate
come back.
you. Yeah. It's dope having a full team, but when the full team's here, we miss Brian deeply for the last 2 weeks. And now Ash is gone tonight. She'll be back, though.
So by comparing yourself, you lose self-awareness. I think by saying that is you're losing your self-worth, you're losing your self-value because a part of you is becoming what you're seeing. You get what I'm saying?
Being a product of your environment.
Right. A part of you is, oh shit, I'm seeing this person with double D boobs or this person with a perfect six pack, and you're not.
We know it's on your timeline.
You're not fully accepting yourself. Oh wow, that person's meal came out perfect, but what you didn't see was they had to shoot that video 10 times. That shrimp came out burnt as hell the first 3 times. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you are comparing yourself and not even knowing what people had to go through to get to where they want to be or to put that product out. You know what I mean? So by doing that, I want to be this, I want to be this. What about being yourself?
I mean, that goes back to the constant. A lot of people don't know themselves and are scared to spend the time knowing themselves. So yeah, it's easier to look at social media, look at all these other people that look like they have it together, because it's so far-fetched to think that we one day could have it all together.
Right.
That makes sense. It's yeah, that's interesting. Comparison can take away from your, what did you say?
Comparing yourself can take away from your self-awareness.
Can take away from self-awareness. Wow, that's a bar.
So I do this shit. So I was watching that new Cole interview the other day.
Cole world.
Yo, J. Cole. I don't know which camera to look at. Come on the show.
Facts. If you never mind, not to shit on anyone else, but
bro,
if you doing them type of interviews,
bro. When Cole comes on this podcast, and I say when, I'm quitting. Like I got nothing else to prove.
I never understand these statements.
I did it.
Do you only do this to prove something?
But I don't got nothing to prove. But I did it. Like
that's it.
That's my peak. That's my Mount Everest.
That's depressing.
Is it?
Yeah, because when you get, like, say you get there, like, what's left? What's next?
Here I am creating a false reality right now. Sway, stick. My bad. Voice cracking and shit. I'm hitting puberty.
Not to mention, there's got to be. Damn. Yeah. So we're in our 30s. There's got to be another Cole in the next 20 years.
There will never be another J. Cole. There's never gonna be another Jay. There's never gonna be another Nas. Never gonna be another Chris Brown. Never another Michael Jackson. These people are one of ones.
I think Michael Jackson might be the only person on that list that's not replicable.
Nah.
How not?
Bro, if
like Chris Brown, he's a very talented individual.
Chris Brown is the closest we have and will get to another Michael.
This is such a bold statement. What did you just say? Chris
Brown is the closest we have gotten and will ever get to another Michael.
Michael Jackson?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Period.
Like, please explain that.
Bro, have you been to a Chris Brown concert?
Never.
See, that's your first mistake. I've seen him twice. Just in regards to all around talent, the man can dance like no other. He can sing like no other. He can act like no other. He can perform. One thing is like, it's one thing if you can dance, right? I'm sure you know some people that are dancers, right? But that does not mean you can go out and put on a good performance.
Who do you think's a better singer, Usher or Chris Brown?
Chris Brown.
That's great. Yo, can we wrap this up?
Listen, we're in too deep. I can't get out of it.
You think Chris Brown's a better singer than Usher? Like performer? Okay, I like probably. Actually, I don't even know because Usher had folks in a chokehold for a while.
And it's like Kevin Hart, right? Mm-hmm. Some people think he's funny, some people don't, right? My thing with Kevin Hart, I've seen him twice, 2 or 3 times live, right? he's mastered the art of showmanship. And that's why I tell people, like, bro, even if you don't think he's funny, you have to go see him live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went last summer and I saw, I think it was Chris Rock and Kevin Hart, right? Mm-hmm. Chris Rock opened up for Kevin Hart. Catch that.
I believe that.
Right? But
Chris Rock is wildly overrated.
Well, okay. But even with that, right? Chris Rock is still Chris Rock, right? And he's got a name. Right? Bro, they said something like he got paid, I think it was like 25 mil or 25,000 for every episode of Everybody Hates Chris.
I respect that.
Not him, the dude that played him. I'm lying. That has nothing to do with Chris Rock. I got excited. Creating false narratives. However, Chris Rock was low key kind of like boring. Like, he was out there for like an hour and a half, and like the first 30, 40, I was like, okay, it's Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's not for our generation.
And an hour in, I'm like, my nigga, like, you still out here? Whereas as soon as Kevin Hart came out, it was like, that's the show. You get what I'm saying? Fact. And it's just the showmanship.
So so you're saying that Chris Brown, because he's such a showman,
talent.
You said that Chris Brown is a better singer than Usher, and I don't think I'll ever get past that.
Just have him. They should have done the verses.
Bro, Usher would dog walk this man. What?
What kind of dog are we talking?
It don't matter. Like, what?
Listen, people.
In a 20v20?
All right. Usher or Chris Brown. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create the poll.
Yes.
What's the question? Who's the better artist?
First of all, you said, who's a better singer, first of all, Usher or Chris Brown? That has to be a poll. Who's the better artist, Usher or Chris Brown?
No. Here's what we're going to do. It's this simple.
There's one last one. Okay.
You have a front row ticket to one concert. Who are you going to, Usher or Chris Brown? That simple. It's that simple.
I don't think that fully explains the narrative. I think there's three questions to be had here. One, who is a better singer, Usher or Chris Brown? Because you said Chris Brown, and that's wild, outrageous to me.
Yo.
Two,
don't know your name, but excuse me.
Who's a better performer or showman, Chris Brown or Usher? And then the last question, the peak that started all of this, is Chris Brown the closest to Michael Jackson when it comes to...
I said it here on the How'd I Get Here podcast. When it comes to what? He is the closest we will get to another Michael Jackson.
That is the most absurd thing I've ever heard you say.
Why?
What do you mean why? Like, Chris Brown compared to Michael Jackson?
Hold on. I'm not saying he... Hold on. I'm not sitting here saying, like, he's better than Michael. He's the next.
Closest?
I'm nowhere saying, like, they're in the same category.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, if this generation had no idea who Michael was, right? Michael didn't exist. And we had Chris Brown, they could be like, all right, bro, he's the greatest pop. Well,
I think you just have a soft spot for Chris. Like, I don't know where this is
Chris Brown,
from.
come on the show. Defend yourself.
I would
Christopher. Is his real name Christopher?
I don't know.
Come on the show.
I would rather go to a Britney Spears concert than a Chris Brown concert at this point.
That's crazy.
When you're talking about showmanship, performance.
Did you see her dance the other day on the Shade Room?
Bro, we're talking about people in their prime. And not to mention, Mike had no social media. All right,
and the crazy shit is, nobody wants to see Bad Bunny. I think Bad Bunny and Drake are wildly overrated. But we are not going down that rabbit hole today.
And Drake is a bigger artist than Chris Brown. This is what's blowing my mind.
We're not doing this today. We got to end eventually. Yeah,
I would back out too. That's
no, just because I want to stay on. If Ash was here, she'd be like, if y'all niggas don't stop nigging and get back on topic, she'd be So I watched the Cole interview.
Yes.
Right? And he basically talks about delusion, right?
Yeah.
In order to be successful, and I'm paraphrasing, you have to be somewhat delusional.
And believe it.
Yeah. Right? So I want to talk about motivation versus delusion, right? Because what motivates you but also how much do you believe in your dreams, right? So to continue paraphrasing, he said, delusion is viewed in two ways. This person has no idea what they're talking about, and they're nowhere near that reality of the goal that they want to accomplish, right? Or second, that in a negative, no idea how good you are, right? So, this nigga actually can make it. And you got to be delusional that, I could actually shoot for the stars and actually land on the star, not the moon type shit, because I'm so good and I don't even know it.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. When you shoot so high, you have to somewhat be irrational. That I can sell out the XL Center. That I can go on a college tour and have people come see us.
And towards it.
And you know what I mean? And but there's some people that are delusional, and it's like, nah, my nigga, you ain't got it. Versus actually, you got to be delusional and not realize how good you really are.
Yeah, you need both sides of the spectrum. Yeah, you definitely need both sides of the spectrum. Because, again, there's just not enough people who are willing to turn their delusion into reality.
I like that.
Yeah, so.
And that's the thing is, your delusion has to be obtainable. I can't sit here and say, yo, I want to be the next freaking Barack Obama and know nothing about politics.
So, I mean, he also said, as part of being delusional, you have to think realistically as far as you can go and then think past that.
Right.
Which, is the land of delusion. So, I mean, I fully believe in, you could call my bluff because I'm not going to do it. If I decided starting today, what is the date?
28th.
It is March 28th, 2023. If I decided that one day I wanted to be president, I fully believe I could be.
That's crazy.
How's that crazy?
Because anybody running against you would just show your voters 5 episodes of this podcast and they'd be like, I do not want that nigga as president. Cut the shit.
Honestly, if my boy Don could get voted in and Sleepy Old Joe could get voted in, we need to shake shit up. But just to that point,
right? No, I'm just being an idiot.
Yeah, if you gave me 30, 40 years and I really wanted to do it, why not? There's a strategy that you have to adopt and then literally execute. And that's why I have a little respect for old Don because he literally had a very specific strategic strategy that he formulated in 1996 or 97 and literally executed along the way.
So it's interesting, and I think we're about to get ready to wrap up, but we've been talking about creating false realities this whole time, right? And we just finished saying, in a sense, you have to be delusional, which means you almost have to live in a sense of false reality to get to where you want to be. So it's kind of interesting to say, hey, I want that 6-pack, but you're 300 pounds overweight. But I want that 6-pack. I can get it.
But this donut's delicious.
You know what I mean? But it ties into what you were saying of, I'm bringing my false reality to real life and saying, okay, what can I do to get to where I want to be?
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves an underdog story. Everyone loves a hard work story. When you actually see the gym transformations that people do over a 2 or 3 year span, powerful. I think people see that and they're like, okay, how can I get that done by summertime? It's not going to happen.
Cut the shit.
Or I could just go to DR and get a little snip here, a little added here, get my titties looking like this.
It's just the fact, y'all got to put in work. Bro, I know I've had a team. You've been doing this, a year and a half now? 2 years?
2+ years.
So 2 years, right? Brian's been with us almost a year. Ash came on last summer, right? But they have no idea what it was like for me to set a camera, fucking run around, hope it recorded. Y'all really don't know. And people be like, yo, y'all really killing this shit with the podcast. Bro, but y'all don't know.
Yeah. But again, that's all character building. And that's part of the story that you can tell later because honestly, they don't need to know. Like Joe Budden says, Joe Budden's a fucking wild man on his podcast. But he literally said on Earn Your Legion, like, yo, those who know. Like, people who understand what it takes to run a successful podcast, business, all these things, like, they know. And it's not that the roadmap hasn't been given. Motherfuckers don't want to put the work in. So, yeah, that all being said, I say we all live in our delusion. Just try to go make it a reality.
Oh, that was a bar.
It's not even the 15 seconds yet.
Mic drop. Well, shit. I mean, we've been chopping it up a little over an hour now. Bri, we are happy, ecstatic, elated to have you back.
Happy.
Big guy, talk your shit and then we'll wrap this up.
Talking thy shiznit. Yo, everybody right here. Look at me. You know what I'm saying? May 11th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Say that
May
shit again.
11th is a Thursday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're hosting our third live event. We understand it's been a year.
Almost to the date.
Yeah. Good things take time. So we really wanted to put in the time, the effort. We got a whole new venue. We're going to have a bar there. We're going to have a bunch of dope vendors. Really, what we're looking to accomplish here, we want to cultivate a community of like-minded individuals who want to network, show some reciprocity within each other. You know, I'm sure there's things that you bring to the table that someone else could benefit from. There's some things that other people bring to the table that you could benefit from. Come out, meet some dope people, partake in a dope conversation, drink a little something, have a little snack or two, find yourself a little snack or two. My guy. And just come be a part of a dope experience. The last two were phenomenal. This one's going to be off the charts, and we're really excited to have you.
Bro, and we are giving y'all 6 weeks notice. I don't want to hear, yo, we need tickets. Yo, bro, once the shit is sold out, I don't want to hear shit. And plus, we giving y'all 6 weeks notice. Mm-hmm. And we get an easy 100 listeners and viewers a week plus. So
local.
Tap in.
Local.
Tap in. Tap. My 15 seconds of fame, because Spencer kind of just did his thing, and we are going to drop promo vids and everything for that.
Save the date.
Yes, sir. Creative Campus, thank you for giving us this beautiful home, this safe home, this creative home to allow us to be ourselves. The support, the love is always appreciated.
Imagine we got kicked out today.
Oh man, I would talk so much shit. I would record a video on y'all lawn.
That's crazy.
Just because I can. But it's not gonna get to that, so we could. Spencer, appreciate you. Bri Guy, good to have you back. I'm really excited about everything that we have coming up. And my 15 seconds of fame is mistakes and pressure are inevitable. The secret to getting past them is to stay calm. And this is the best fucking podcast in CT. And I know what I said about Chris Brown, but I forgot about 5 dudes. Dylon. And that's a wrap. Bow.
Because he spits hot fire.
Oh, bro, we like, I think the beginning we were kind of like running in circles, but then I think we eventually